What's up, everybody? This is Cool Dude, and welcome back to another cool review. Today, we're going to be doing a very recent movie. Very recent. We are going to be doing Wonder Woman 84. The sequel to the, was it 2017? God, was it really that long? No, I think it was 2018, actually. And I can't believe it was that long. It feels like so long ago. It feels like it came out in, like, 2015. Like, that's how slow 2020 has been. That's how slow 2020 was for me. But, yep, Wonder Woman 84. It's the sequel to Wonder Woman. I saw it recently, and, well, how did it turn out? It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Definitely not as good as the original, but I definitely say it's a little bit better than the critics and the audiences were making out to be. I'd say it's at least a B-worthy film. Anyway, let's get to the review itself. So, Wonder Woman 84, it takes place, of course, in 1984. Duh. And we see Wonder Woman has grown and evolved over time. She's living in the modern day, but she still is clinging on to the past, especially with Steve Trevor gone. But, and then she meets up with this woman called, Barbara Minerva, that was her name. Okay. Oh man, I don't know why I forgot her last name. She meets up with her, played by Kristen Wiig, which, by the way, I think it's very weird I see her in serious roles. I don't know if it's just me. I'm so used to, like, her comedic stuff and her comedic sketches and on SNL and all that stuff. It's kind of weird seeing her in a more serious role. Not to say that she isn't, I guess, comedic, but, you know, it's a weird to see her in a more serious position. And they meet up with this, owner of a corporation played by Pedro Pascal, who, if you know The Mandalorian, he's Mando. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do the theme. But, yeah, he's also in this, and basically, Minerva comes across this stone, this artifact, an ancient artifact, that apparently can grant wishes. It can grant one wish per person. And basically the wishes start to turn really wrong because people start using them for the wrong reasons. And Wonder Woman, you know, just happens to wish for Steve Trevor back. I don't think that's really much of a spoiler because if you've seen the trailers, you know he's in it somehow. But anyway, the rest of the movie, not spoiling anything else, the rest of the movie is pretty much just her and Steve Trevor trying to, you know, stop these wishes from happening, trying to get people to, you know, renounce their wishes and all that stuff. So, this film is not as action-packed as the first one, surprisingly. I mean, when the action does happen, it's definitely more lengthy than the first movie, but there definitely isn't more like, talk, and then action. Talk, then action. Like in the original Wonder Woman. It's definitely a lot more conversation building up to the action itself. God, I'm losing my voice. There's definitely a lot more of a little bit of a slower burn in this one. Not to say it's a too slow of a burn, but it definitely is more of a burn there. Also, I really love the acting in this movie. I guess I'll say, yeah, this is one of the pros. Let's get to the pros, everybody. We're in the pros. But yeah, pro number one is definitely the actors. I mean, my God, they're giving it their all. And Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. Like, that's one of the most perfect casting I've ever seen. Gal Gadot still nails the Wonder Woman character. Like, it's one of those cases like Heath Ledger as the Joker, or, you know, like... Jesus Christ, what's going on with my throat? Of course, as soon as I hit record, it's like, my throat just wants to be all funky as hell. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's one of those things like with Heath Ledger as the Joker, or Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Like, I don't see Robert Downey Jr. or Heath Ledger, and I don't see Gal Gadot in this movie. I see Iron Man, I see Joker, especially in this, I see Wonder Woman. And she's amazing, as always. She's just perfect. Love it. God damn it, throat. Work with me here. And Chris Pine, of course, is back as Steve Trevor, and he does a good job as well. I liked him in the first movie; he was good. And in this one, maybe there might be too many moments of him going, "Wow, oh, wow," you know, because he's like in a different time period and he's reacting to all this stuff. I really would have wished they could have stopped with that. I'm like, okay, we get it. This is all new stuff to him. Let's stop showing let's not have him do that face every other 5 seconds. But other than that, he's good. Pedro Pascal, oh my God, he was so good in this movie. Like, admittedly, this premise, it's a comic book movie, so obviously, like, this rock, all the wishes it makes, it's pretty, like, you know, it's pretty, like, fantastical and all that stuff. But my God, does Pedro Pascal play the role that he's in with such, like, authority, attention, with such emotion, with such drive. Man, I really hope Pedro Pascal has a great future. You know, I hope he has a like his talent grows and he has a nice long career. Because my God, he's really good. He's really good in this movie. He was damn good. This is the first movie I've seen him in. Like I've seen him in The Mandalorian first, but this is the first movie I've seen him in, and my God, he's amazing. I love it. I love his performance. He's just phenomenal. Love it. Probably the best actor in the movie, in my opinion. I mean, Gal Gadot was fantastic too, but I mean, Pedro Pascal really surprised me in this one because I didn't really know how he would do, but he did amazing. He did amazing, man. And I will say also the fights themselves are choreographed beautifully. Like that's one thing I could say with DC. Like Marvel. Marvel has some good choreography too, but DC really is awesome in the way they do it because I feel like it's almost like one continuous shot. Of course they have cuts, but it's like very minimal cuts. They always keep to a consistent like area. Like there's a scene with Wonder Woman fighting these guards in the hall, and it's like it doesn't cut away from anything. Like it's all this one hall. Like they cut to action scenes around this hall, but there's no like outside shots. There's no like interior shots. You know, it's all just this one spot, which is really cool. Love that. And also just the stunts themselves are done very nicely. And also, I feel like Wonder Woman is a lot more developed in this one, which I really do love. I feel like I've learned more about Wonder Woman in this movie than I did with the last one. That's what I think really like nails this movie home for me in terms of a sequel. And yeah, she just is excellent in this. And I will say also the 80s is done pretty well. It's like hilarious. It's obviously like oversaturated 80s, but it's still a cool 80s to look at. Maybe too much 80s for me, but still, it's really cool. But with all that said, let's get to the cons of this movie, because there are quite a few that prevents this from being like a top-tier sequel for me. Con number one is that Kristen Wiig, unfortunately, is not very good. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'm sorry, I don't think she did that good in this movie. Mainly because I don't feel like her character was written that well. I get what they were going for because she does form a bond with Diana in this movie. She does form a bond with her, but I don't feel like it really like connects with me as much. I don't feel like the friendship, and I don't feel like they had enough scenes and enough moments of them being together to like make that connection feel strong and lead to the ultimate tragedy at the end. And also, yes, it looks stupid. Cheetah. The makeup looks stupid, as always. And I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like she could have been cut from this movie and you really wouldn't have missed anything. Like, I get it, she's supposed to show the contrast between her and Diana in terms of how they view the wishes, but other than that, like, she's completely pointless. Like, you literally wouldn't miss anything if she was left out of the movie. Literally nothing. So, that's a big problem for me. I know comic book fans want to see Cheetah on the big screen. They're like, oh my god, it's so awesome. But in terms of, like, flowing into the story, I don't think it really meant anything. So, that's a problem there for me. Problem number two is that, I don't know, the plot can be a little... Like, I don't mind the wishing stuff. Like, at first when it's introduced, it's, like, a lot more of, like, a well-built-up sort of thing. And it, like, takes a few moments for the, like, effect to really kick in. And it's like, cool, okay, this is where I can rock with it. But then when it starts to go, like, more action, like, you know, action movie, like, ish, and they have to, like, sort of speed things up to the climax, and the wishes are starting to happen left and right, and they don't really explain why they're happening, like, quicker than they were before. It's kind of like, okay, this is kind of getting lazy. This is really just kind of a little goofy and all that stuff, but... that's a minute point. That's really more of a nitpick for me. And number three, I feel like, I don't know. Unlike the first Wonder Woman, where I feel like when you get to the end, it's like, wow, that was so good. Like, it really, like, nails the emotion that you're supposed to feel. Like, you feel like a sense of loss, but you also feel like a sense of heroic, like, victory. This one, I sort of feel like, okay, that was it. Like, okay, pretty good. It's not bad, but it's just kind of like, I don't feel like it really nailed home the, like, ending that I think it was hoping to get. I just feel like this is all kind of, like, trying to be like the first movie in terms of, like, the feelings and the emotions you're supposed to get. And it really, like, the plot itself is very different from the first movie, which I do appreciate. I'm not saying it's basically the same movie all over again. Far from it. If anything, it's super different. But I'm saying, like, I feel like the efforts it's making is very similar to how Wonder Woman did. And it gets, I don't know, it gets close, but I still feel like the first movie was better. So overall, I give this a 4 Lasso of Truths out of 5. It's almost a perfect sequel with some stellar acting. I'm telling you, the acting's the best part of the movie. I love the acting. Some really great choreographed action sequences. The 80s stuff is pretty cool. The story itself with Diana is well done and really well handled. Wonder Woman herself grows as a character a lot. However, just the overall, the sort of the mess going into the climax, the whole overall like misusage of Cheetah in the movie, and it tries to, you know, be like as big of an emotional powerhouse as the first movie, but I don't think it really nailed as strong. So that's why For Lasso of Truth's out of 5 in terms of a movie. But I still do recommend it highly. Like, if you like the first movie, you're gonna like this one very much. I mean, heck, you might even disagree with me and say, oh, this is much better than the first one. What are you talking about? But I still stand by my thing. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it was still a pretty good movie, and it's really fun to watch. And I do seriously love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Like, the amount of struggle she goes through in this movie and the first movie is just so great to watch, and it's so nice to see her evolve as a character, and you really love watching her, like, you know, try to figure out what's right and trying to, like, make things happen, and when things don't go her way, you do feel really bad for her, and yeah, it's just, she's a really well good character. She's a well-written character, and Gal Gadot plays her excellently, so no complaints there. Wonder Woman 84, highly recommend it. Not as good as the first one because of those problems I just said, but still, you should watch it. And with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, and just let me know what you thought of Wonder Woman 84. Don't leave any spoilers for the... I mean, you can leave spoilers, but I mean, if you really are passionate about not spoilers, then maybe you don't read those. But just let me know what you thought of Wonder Woman 84 down in the comments below when you do see it, or if you have already seen it, you just go ahead and let me know right now. And with that all said, until next time, guys, stay cool, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, y'all.